What's up, guys? Laird here. Welcome back to the channel for it. I couldn't even keep going.
That was good.
I was so excited. I've been practicing, and I just looked up to the screen and I saw you laughing, and I'm like, damn it, he got me.
That's funny.
Welcome back to the channel for your very first MFL video. Joined today by the legend himself. You may know him from FIFA. Maybe you know him from FC24. Maybe you know him from So Rare. I was about to say I know him from MFL, but that's a lie. But he loves MFL, and he's going to try to convince me to play today. Nep, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And I don't think it needs convincing, to be honest.
Ooh.
Maybe actually, I don't know, because if you don't like football management games, and as somebody who plays So Rare but doesn't watch football,
so we're going to get into that, okay? Because we're going to get into that. I have to say that the reason I did that intro is because I was watching one of your MFL videos, and NepentheZ MFL, for those of you who have not watched them yet. And I was in my office, which is not where I am currently. And my office is right next to where my kids watch TV. And my son has been a subscriber of your FIFA content for years now. And I started the video, and I must have had the volume really loud or something. And he just heard "What's up, guys? NepentheZ here." And he rushes in, and he's like, "What?" And he looks at the screen. He's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's MFL. It's this new game." And he was like, "Huh?" It's it looks a lot like Ultimate Team. I was like, "Maybe it is. I don't know," because I don't play Ultimate Team, but he sort of knows what it is. And he sits down with me to watch it, and he's like, "It's the exact same. I know exactly the way he's talking about the game is exactly the same, talking about ratings and his dribbling rating and all this stuff." And he was like, "This is really cool." And then he's like, "Oh, it's fake players." And I was like, "Yeah, that's why I'm not sure." And he's like, "Huh, all right." And just leaves. I was like, okay. And what you just said about me not really watching football, the biggest thing that held me back from MFL was just that. I was like, oh, it's just it's fake players, whatever. And ever since I've been watching your videos, and it's very clear that you have become passionate about this game. You speak about it with an excitement. And I sat back and I thought to myself, the way that I play So Rare, everyone may as well be a fake player.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch I buy cards. Most of the cards I buy are players I have never seen play in my life, not a second. And I love the people who are like, "Oh, go to YouTube and check out the highlights," as if that's going to change my mind, seeing some guy just hitting volley bangers and stuff like that. But I think I'm starting to get over that. Who cares? They're all fake players.
They are all fake players. And certainly on So Rare, some of the players that you use, you moneyball them rather than actually ever watch them, and some of them, there's players in my gallery that I plug into lineups every single week, and I could not tell you a single thing about them. And it's you don't have to watch football, but with MFL, you will want to watch your games if you like it, because you're connected to it because it's yours. Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne, they're not mine. They're just real people. These guys on MFL, they are mine. Nobody else can have them. So it means a lot more when they do well. And it means a lot more when they do bad as well, actually.
That's certainly true, too. And I would even argue that maybe professional footballers aren't real people.
Yeah.
But that's probably another discussion. So let's get into MFL. For those of the people who are watching, and I feel like Josh said he just got a 92nd minute cup winner and just stood and shouted. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there is an excitement about this. When I kind of mentioned that when I tweeted that we were doing this show, a lot of people have contacted me and they were like, "It's so much fun. You have to get into it." And the more I watch your content about MFL, the more I'm like, he looks like he's having a lot of fun doing this. And I have the two, it's not even angel devil, but the angel's he's having so much fun. Look at that. And the devil's this game is so similar to what he's dominated for the last decade and a half, 2 decades, however long, that not that I would never get to that point, but that's like a little bit of my concern, that this is clearly based around something that you have grown to love. Maybe you've grown to hate it. I don't know. But like, but because of the similarities, like it feels like, not that you have a head start, but I never got into Ultimate Team. I never played Football Manager. And it seems like those are the two things that everybody references about how great MFL is. And I didn't, maybe it's okay that I never played them, because it's not like I played them and hated them. But the fact that I've never played them, is there like too big of a learning curve for me?
No, there's definitely not too big of a learning curve. In fact, I spoke about this in one of the videos I made. Like, MFL reminds me so much of the old Football Manager that was called Championship Manager back in like 97, 98, like, you know, way back when, where it was so scaled down. There wasn't a lot you could do. There wasn't many leagues you could take care of. Like everything was basic. And this brings back those memories of like, I love this because it's actually not yet in depth. I'm sure, like So Rare, you know, you talk about So Rare and how they've changed a lot over the years, and new people would be so confused. And it's like, first of all, they wouldn't be, because they didn't know what it was before. But also, people do have brains in their heads, right? Like, people are able to comprehend things. And if they can't, they can go and watch some content on it, and then, you know, still win. I think MFL is in that phase right now where you can spend as little as like 2 or 3 minutes a day playing it and still get the same joy as if you would spend 2 or 3 hours a day playing it. But you can also spend 2 or 3 hours a day playing it. Like, right. It really gives you all, like, you're in control. You're just fully in control of it.
It does feel that way. And firstly, thanks everyone for coming in. I'm not going to go through everything because we're already like deep into it, but everybody, it feels like everybody in the chat's just like, oh yeah, this is great. I love it so much. And this great line from Toby. I never understood why professional teams rotate for the EFL Cup, and now I understand it, which is something that you talked about in, well, you talk about it pretty much in all of your videos. But the football manager type games seem to be like, obviously they're evolving. Like MFL seems to be like a very big jump up. We don't have Football Manager this year, which I wonder if people, this is kind of like quenching their Football Manager thirst for that. But I have this weird feeling while I watch, because I haven't signed up, that I'm both like late to the game and I won't be able to catch up, but also it's so incredibly early that it doesn't matter. But I think a lot of that is just my mentality from So Rare, that I know that the earlier you play So Rare, the more of an advantage you have over everybody else. But a lot of it is just from the knowledge perspective. And so there are always going to be people who are more knowledgeable of a game that you just start playing. But MFL seems like it's a very different mindset to So Rare, because it's 100% presented, at least to me, as I see it, as a game. And it's, yes, you can earn from it, but it does feel like just here's a place you can spend money and play this really fun game. How much of like the earning aspect, because you talk about it like earning MFL, but it feels like every time you talk about earning MFL, it's like, I'm earning it to throw it right back in the game. Like it's just a in-game currency that I'm going to throw right back in. But was there ever do you ever think of like actual ROI when it comes to MFL?
Yeah, I think there is, like, for you to get good ROI, and you can, the investment has to be significant, because the first thing you would have to do is buy one of the top clubs, and the people that already own the top clubs will not want to sell them cheap. So you can't just buy a top club. The best thing you can do is buy like a mid or lower tier club, buy really good players, and then just get promoted. But each season is 6 weeks long. So there's 8 tiers of divisions. So, you know, it's going to take you probably like 4, 5, 6 months to even get to the top divisions. So the ROI, like, it is possible, but, and it is something like I do want to make money off of it, obviously. Like, it would be nice just as like a little supplementary, like, oh, nice. Like, you know, I sold a guy for like $150. Probably I'll just put that back into the game again. But it is, like, I look at it as a game, and I think that's why maybe I've connected with it a lot more than other Web3 games, is because I'm playing the game, and the cost of entry is the cost of buying any other game that I would buy, and the cost of the packs or the players are the microtransactions that I would use in any other game that I would play. And I don't look at those games and think, right, how can I now go and make $5,000 off of this game? I look at those and think, am I enjoying myself? And was it a good story? Has it held my attention? If it hasn't, I'll never play it again. And if it has, happy days. And with MFL, like, yeah, you win their currency. It's not a cryptocurrency or anything, but you win their currency. And with it, you can do one of basically two things. You could either put your players into the development center, which is where you lock them away for anywhere from 1 to 4 years, and they get like 120% XP instead of 100% XP over those 4 years, which will help their development if they're good. Or you can use it to open packs, but you don't even have to open the packs. And this is where there is like a good way to make money. And I think Josh is here. He's probably actually made more money than me off this game, because he bought packs for the pack drop. Then you can sell them on Floaty. It's like a website. I don't even know what it is, but it's like a NFT website where you can sell things. And because packs can only be obtained either in the pack drop with cash and they sell out immediately, or with MFL at the end of the season, there's a really high premium on them. So if you just want to be like, man, I just want to buy some packs, somebody who's holding their packs and selling them on Floaty can put it up to like 2x, 3x, 4x the actual price of the pack, because somebody's a gambler and wants that kind of endorphin rush of getting someone good or not. So you can make money off the packs quite easily like that, I suppose.
But it feels like most people are playing not to like churn ROI through playing the game itself, other than that, right?
Yeah, I think most people are playing to be able to keep playing without investing more.
And you look at it as investing more instead of spending more?
Yeah, I think it is investing, because they do, like, the cards have a lifespan a lot shorter than Sorez. The clubs don't. The club is an asset that you always have and will be able to sell. And like, you could buy a club in Ice Division, which is the bottom division now, will cost you like maybe $65, $70. The cheapest Stone Division, which is the one up, is on the market for $200. You could probably sell it for like $120, $130. So in theory, you could buy loads of Ice clubs at $60, $70, be a good enough manager to get them all promoted, flip them, sell them off, rinse and repeat, and do it again. So they are absolutely an investment.
Yeah, that makes sense. How much like volume is on the secondary market for clubs like that?
Yeah, there's a fair bit. If you want to go, I don't know if you've actually logged into the site and like set up or anything. No, I'll share my screen. That's all right.
I'm still waiting to use your code.
Oh, thanks very much.
We're gonna see if it works after this show.
So you have players and clubs on the secondary market, and then if we just go price low to high, what you have is two different versions of clubs. So you've got established clubs, which are clubs that people already own and that exist in the ecosystem, and then club licenses that are like unopened clubs. Right. And these are the only benefit to having a license instead of an established club is that the history is all yours. There's no prior history. So I won't buy any established clubs just for that reason. But yeah, the cheapest one right now is $80, which is pointless. You might as well just buy one as like when you create the game. You could buy up to 2 clubs as a new player.
And that's bought directly from MFL?
Yeah, directly from MFL. And sometimes they run promos where you get like a free player with it and stuff. And then if you actually do use mine or other content creators like yourself, Laird, the affiliate codes, you will get a free player and they will get a free player as well. So, you know, it's all part of the play, all part of the plan. And when you look at the established clubs that might be selling at the top level, I mean, it's like this is probably quite reasonable with like $3,000 for the club, but you don't get the players. You just get the club.
That's a Diamond division?
Yeah, Diamond. Yeah. That's the top division.
The top,
yeah. Huh. It's actually more reasonable than I thought, to be honest. I might buy a platinum.
This is going to change too. Can I get Nep to double down on that? I thought about this actually watching one of your videos, because I noticed that your main club, Prestige 26, is in Kiev.
Yes,
from Kiev. Did the locations matter at all?
No, not at the moment, but people still pay a premium for locations. So I actually did. I got one club, which was Milton Keynes, which is a place in like South London in the UK, and it was club number. The mint was 3,000. And I thought that's pretty cool, like, you know, very even mint. So for a moment, I was like, maybe I'll put it on the market and get a bit of a profit for it. But I just started using it myself. But at the moment, they mean nothing. But I imagine there will be a time when they're like, the way the system works, don't take this the wrong way, it's a pyramid scheme. Not a pyramid scheme, it's a pyramid system. So the first division splits into two, and then each one splits off. And eventually you're just going to get to the point where if there are 8 tiers right now, if we go to the 9th tier of the pyramid, 50% of the entire player base of the whole game is in the worst division. And that's just not good for MFL. So I presume eventually they'll change structure of the way the league systems are. And at that point, I can see location being important.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if they just essentially like randomly assigned country, cities, and all countries played in the same division or the same leagues themselves. But yeah, it seems like it means nothing at this point.
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah. Okay. So where Josh here said, because MFL is more of an actual game, it feels like you'll still have fun even if you're not making any money, unlike Sower, where it's basically all about winning. I mean, I feel like I'm still going to want to win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get massively emotionally attached. I've got 3 teams that I expect to lose every single game with for the entirety of the season, and I still get upset when I lose, even though it's fully expected. The one great thing about MFL that SoRed does not have and has never had is no DMPs. Your team is going to start because you're the manager. You pick.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I like people now asking me to use their referral links. Okay, let's see. I know that there are a couple third-party sites. Yeah, MFL Assistant was one that you pull up all the time. How much do you need those? So let me actually change that question before I keep going. It feels like a lot of your content is looking at other clubs, mostly in the leagues that you're in competing in, just like, oh, how good are the clubs I'm competing against are?
Yeah.
How much does that, like, it feels more in your videos as curiosity, but like how much of an advantage do you gain by seeing what else is out there? I know that sounds weird, but
not really anything.
Okay.
Well, that's not true. Like, for example, the game that I had in the league last night was against the worst team in the league by far. He only has, I think, 15 players as well, so he can't rotate. So his fitness is going to be awful throughout the course of the season. And it was an opportunity for me. I didn't take it because the cup start today, but it was an opportunity for me to rotate my weaker players in just because of that, like, research. So there are some advantages. Similarly, like if you've got like a mid-table team and you're coming up against top of the table and you know you're going to lose either way, you also might as well put in your backup team, get some fitness back on your main team so that when you go into a more competitive game, you're a lot fresher.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. It feels very real. Like it feels like the decisions you're making are decisions that football clubs make every single day or week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just going to interrupt you there because like there's one thing that I think about when I play this game is you are playing against human beings. You are never playing against a computer, right? There's no such thing as like AI control teams or anything. So every time I buy somebody off the market, there's that air of, why the fuck has nobody else bought this player? Like, what am I doing wrong? Sure. Right? Because every other manager has looked at him and been like, nah. Yeah, I bought a player for like $35 at the start of the season, and he's been insane. And he's like literally like star man in the league at the moment. And I'm like, I get a genuine win feeling because I'm like, this guy's killing it, and I could already sell him for probably like $15 or $20 more. But if he moves up to the next tier, and he's only 2 ratings away from that, if he moves up to the next tier, he's probably worth like $100 more. And so again, like that's the ROI perspective, is like I could either sell him, get some money back, reinvest it into the game, or just take it out and be like, hey, I'm playing for free. Or I can keep him and use him in my teams to help me get promoted and earn MFL. Or I can agency him out to a division 2 or 3 above my station and take like 3, 4, or 5% of what they earn, which will help me as well. And so it really does give you like the whole cycle of the game is really good. And because so many people have so many clubs, Matt, the CEO, who I believe has like reached out to you also, he said they're working on like a general manager option as well, where you can like employ somebody to run your clubs and give them a share of MFL. So you don't have to do literally anything at all. Which sounds fascinating, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but yeah, I don't know. Like that feels more like you're just there to get an ROI.
Yeah. If that's the case, that's fair. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's right. So I guess the way I look at it, and maybe this is why it's not, well, I think it's very clear why it's not so rare. But also like why it's not Ultimate Team is that for the most part, I apologize for my ignorance here. Can you actually make any money as as a regular player playing foot or anything?
As a regular, you can, like, you have to kind of be in a know, but like you can sell your coins.
Right.
So if you're just good at coin management and good at making coins, you can. Like many years ago now, the whole industry's changed. But one of my best friends from Football Manager, actually met him on the Football Manager forums. There was a group of like 8 or 9 of us that used to just play clubs together all the time on FIFA, and he was into Ultimate Team, and not a lot of the other guys were. So I spoke to him a lot about Ultimate Team, and he was a uni student at the time, and he literally used to relegate himself to Division 5, which is the bottom division, play all up to Division 1 and do that 3 times a night. And he was really good at the game, and he made like, I think it was like 75, 100,000 coins doing it, which in those days you could sell for like 100 quid, 150 quid. So as a uni student, he was playing FIFA for like 3-4 hours a night and making like 100, 150 quid a night doing it. And he said he just had the best time. Like, you know, it's like really fun for him. So you can make money off of it, but it's you won't.
Yeah. So it does feel like this now, like that whole general manager idea of like, oh yeah, I'm just going to throw a bunch of money in, pay people to run it, and I'll just like make money from it, which feels, I don't know, it just feels counter to the whole like game aspect of it. Like that makes it feel like more of a money maker, even though like you can't do that on So Rare. Yeah. Technically, I'm sure there are people who do it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But also,
I don't know why that bothers me.
It's. I think it has 2 like positives though. First of all, for people that have lots of clubs, which are also like helping stabilize the economy, I suppose, because they're constantly buying clubs and players for those clubs. Some people just don't have all the time in the world to manage all the clubs.
Sure.
Yet they still want all of the assets. Like, I mean, if you look at your So Rare gallery and my So Rare gallery, if I could play every card every weekend, I wouldn't, because there wouldn't be enough hours in a day for me to populate every single player into a lineup. But also for somebody who might not have any money, you could prove yourself at the low tier as a manager, like, you know, as a general manager, scrape a little bit of MFL for doing the job, and then start your own journey for free with what you earn from managing somebody else's club. So I think it's a really positive way to include everybody into the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did think I like got to this, and Josh was saying if you have like 15 clubs, like you just don't have enough time to run or at least run them effectively. A couple questions here. I know the answers, but I'll let you answer them. Philly Dilly said all the games are simmed, correct? I'll answer that one. Yes. Can you watch the sims, and do you have any control during the sim?
Yes, you can watch them, and at the moment you don't have any control during them. You can, like, you have custom tactics and player instructions as well, like before the game. You can preset tactics for up to like 6 games ahead as well, and teams as well, which is pretty good. But in the current moment, they're focusing on getting the match engine being like balanced. Not that it's unbalanced, because it really isn't, but there are sometimes like last season's 4-4-2 was just the strongest formation by a bit. So it's like they're just trying to rectify a lot of those situations. And like there's, for example, right now, goalkeeper height matters nearly nothing at all. The guy that won the top division last season had like a 5'7" goalkeeper, and they want it to matter, right? So that, like, there's things that they're focusing on first before they introduce that next layer. And that's what I said. At the moment, it's so basic and so plain. And this is what gets me excited about it, and what I've been waiting for is like in a game in general, there is endless potential. And the thing that I love about it the absolute most is that there is no licensing fees whatsoever. So they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. That definitely came into my mind, which is weird because I tend not to think about it from the Sora perspective that much, but it does come up at some point where it's just like, oh, they don't, they lose a license, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we don't get those cards anymore. In a game that has no licenses, you can't lose them. And so, yeah, that was good. Josh said, I also think changing tactics based on the quality differential to your opponent is important too. God, I'm going to get so sucked into this.
As somebody who has won a league, responding to somebody who hasn't, I think he's wrong.
All right, we're throwing smoke. Here we go. Don is asking if the tactics and play style part is just as deep as Football Manager, which I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know how deep it goes for Football Manager.
It's not at the moment. You had the best team in the league. I did not. I had the 5th best team in the league, 2nd best by the transfer window. It's not at the moment, but it does have like enough. So you could select your set piece takers, free kicks, corners, and penalties.
Oh, I do love a set piece. Here we go.
You can. This is your in possession and out of possession tactics as a whole. And as you can see, like they're pretty basic, but they do the job right. But they're pretty basic. And then you also do have like custom player instructions, which is basically the team instructions, but just applied to the individual player. So if you've got somebody who's got like blistering pace, you'd put them on direct because you'd want them to get like in behind a lot more. But obviously then as a drawback, and you can kind of see this if you watch the games on the extended highlights, you will just notice your player who's direct out of position, like a whole bunch. So if you can kind of try and this is where maybe having one club will be like way better, especially if you're like tactically astute. Like you can kind of like watch somebody else's games although you can't actually see what their tactics are, you can isolate weaknesses in their team. Like if they've just got 2 fullbacks that they constantly bomb up the field, maybe play a 4-2-4. So you've got 4-on-2 like counter attack every single time, like the possession turns over. So there's tactics play a part. They play a part. I don't think they play as huge a part as just having the better team. But they like if you're like 2 or 3 points below your opponent and you've got better tactics, you can certainly win that game, which I think is really good.
Yeah. How often are the matches?
Once a day. Let me just here. I'll keep my screen share on again because it's. Are
we going to get a calendar view here?
Yeah, we'll see. We can see the calendar here. So we've got the general calendar here. So the round 1 of the cup starts today. So there's no league game today. Then tomorrow you get cup and league. Then there's a break for the cup. Then it's 2 days of cup and league again. Then a break for the cup. Then you get cup, league, and cup, and then you get the cup like finishes its group stage, and you get like a 4-day period before the round of 16, where you've got transfer window, so you can make up to 3 signings during a transfer window. So, for example, for my team right here, Prestige 26, I'm currently 2nd, but I'm yet to play the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
If I'm still 2nd or 3rd during a transfer window, I'll probably strengthen my team to try and get promoted. But if I'm not, I won't bother. And so, yeah, you have. So I've got a game today at 4:55, and then I've got 2 tomorrow, 1 the next day, 2 the next day, until I'm out of the cup, basically. So, you know, especially if you've got 5 teams like I've got now, I'm getting 10 games per day at the moment, which is like really fascinating. And the way the XP works, you get your players, if they're in a club, they get XP at 10 a.m. every morning for training. If they're not in a club, they don't. So sometimes it's worth just giving them out for free if you've got spares left over, just to like kind of get them in, getting that training XP. But also they get XP at the end of every match. And so when you've got cup matches as well, when you start playing your reserve players, they've got a chance now to start like growing a lot quicker because they're finally getting that game time. And based on your match rating determines how much match XP you get.
Yep.
And it's also based on your overall of your best 16 and your opponent's overall of the best 16. So if you get a really high match rating against a really strong team, you get like an insane amount of match XP, which could like really help progress your players on.
How many players do you have per club?
25 per club.
So on those days, you have to somehow split them between the cup and your league match?
Yeah, so I've got
I assume they can't play both.
They can, yeah, you can play both.
Oh.
So I've got like, I don't know how most other people do it, but I just play my main team in the league, and then my second team right now is this is like my backups, and so I'll just set these guys now, and so I can set the next game. I can preset the tactics for like the upcoming games. That's a lot more than there was before. They've extended that to 10 by looks of things. It was only like 5 last time I checked. But like the way you regain fitness, so all these guys here, they will regain fitness only when they miss a match. So they don't gain fitness over time. So when there's like a 4-day period of no games during a transfer window, you don't come back at 100% fitness, which I kind of don't like too much. I think there should be like if somebody doesn't play for like 48 hours or something, they should maybe generate their fitness back. But I also do quite like it on the other side of things because it just has you engaged. Like you've kind of got to manage your team. You've got to like I stupidly this season only brought 3 centre backs with me, and I didn't realise that until this cup game when I was like, right, let me rotate my 2 centre backs out. And I was like, oh, crap, I've only got 1 spare. And it's the same with my centre mids, although I actually have got a lot of centre mids. Most of these don't play centre mid. And so I've only got 3 centre mids and 3 centre backs. And I remember now in my mind thinking, that's okay. I'll just use them on like a rotary system of like, you play 2, then you're out for 1. And everybody gets the same game time. But I just didn't put that into effect during the campaign. So I'm now going to have 2 players that start really depleting in fitness, which you can see like with the little dots here, when they go to like the top level is 100 down to 93, gives like all fresh. Then you get fit, which is 92 down to 86, I believe. I don't personally think there's much of a drop off of quality when they're in this next stage of fitness down, but a lot of other people do. I think these are okay to play like this, but it's interesting. I was saying this to Josh just the other night, but it's interesting when we talk about how this game is played or should be played or whatever, and the content creators or the voices, the big voices in the MFL scene, people just take their word at gospel. And I'm not saying they're wrong necessarily, but I remember when I came into the So Rare world and some of the first content I watched was like you and Sean, for example, and Sean would say things and I'm just like, he's just wrong, man. He's just wrong. And we had a few like back and forths, and sometimes I would turn around and be like, actually, do you know what? I see his perspective, but there was a few times as well where it was like, oh, actually, yeah, like what you're saying is right, and I'm like, yeah, let's not just believe what these guys are saying. Let's test it out for ourselves. Let's try things. So if people are sitting here saying, oh, once you get to that deep green, you've got to rotate them out, I sit there and think, well, I'll be the judge of that. Let me figure that out. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fair. That's fair. The Dobbsy saying, how much would you say the entry level is? I know you said before that you could buy a club, you could buy a new club or a new license and never spend another dollar again.
Yep.
So I guess that's the answer, right?
If you want to play the long game, the really long game, $1 is the entry fee. You could just go and buy 1 player for $1 and agency them out and get 5% or 4% or 3% of somebody else's MFL every 6 weeks, which will be really negligible. But on the off chance your player progresses well and goes up 3, 4, 5 ratings, maybe you can sell them for $2 or $3, then go and buy 3 more $1 players and repeat the process. So effectively $1 is the entry fee. If you actually want to play the game properly, you just need to buy a club. So if you buy it off the like secondary market, like they pop up a lot towards the back end of the season for like $55, $60, because what people tend to do is they play the season through, then because they own the players. And let me show again my screen so it's a little bit easier to visualize what I'm showing here. So when you look at my squad, we've got this thing at the top called revenue share. So 40% of the club's earnings will go to the agents at the end of the season. Now I'm the agent of all the players, so I get all the revenue share anyway, so it makes no difference. But if I sold this
other
club,
teams of yours,
no, it all goes to me. So effectively, I'm the agent, right? So if I sold my club though, and somebody else bought it and finished off the season for me, because I own all the players and I'm the agent, I would still get 42% of the MFL. So what a lot of people tend to do is put their rev share up into like the high 80s, low 90s to themselves, then try and sell their club at the end of the season to recoup that money. So you tend to find people like farming off clubs to the back end of the season, where like last season there was loads that kept going for like $50, $55, $60. But if you just want to get involved right now, you can just buy a club for like, I don't even know what the cheapest one is right now, but I think it was like $80 for the license. The license rather than the club. But in terms of the actual club, we've got $68. And then once you buy the club, like I say, you don't have to play. You don't have to spend ever again. So I've got a guy, I think it's in this division here. He is a not in this one. Shawning. Yeah. So he bought a club. I can't remember what division he's in, but he bought a club, and every single player that he's got it's going to be the last one to click on, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
Every single player he's got is not his.
Right.
And so he just borrows them, I suppose. It's literally the last one I've clicked on, isn't it? I've clicked on all of them. It's still not there. That's impossible.
Did you click on the... Oh, yeah, you started on Team Sweat.
Yeah. Maybe he's just way high up the table. And he might have rebranded the club.
I was going to say, can you change the team name?
Yeah, you can change the team
name.
Oh, you
can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you can anyway. If you can't, then yeah, I don't know. But let me just click on like any random club anyway. So we can look at this guy here, and when we look at his club, most of these are his, but he's got one player there that's not. Yeah. And so once you've got the club, you can offer a percentage of your earnings out to borrow somebody else's player for the season. Oh, there you go. You can rebrand the club and name whenever you can. So yeah, I guess he rebranded his club name, or I just missed it. And it's just a fascinating way to play, because it's like one of those situations where if you're a good manager and if you're a good negotiator, or if your long play is to get the club into a high division, you can just give up bundles of your rev share to get the best players to guarantee promotion all the way up. And as you're doing it, even if you're making some for yourself, you can start opening those packs and get your own players, or you can just save your MFL to get one big pack to get your own player. And so the ability to kind of play this over time stays with you, because the tactics, the strategies, the MFL and distribution, and the promotion and relegation, it will never end, right?
NepentheZ FC was where Shining is.
I must have just missed it.
He's climbing, and all of a sudden we didn't look for him. Let's see.
He's just not there. Oh, look, he's at the bottom. Unlucky.
Yeah, you didn't scroll enough.
I didn't scroll far enough down. Yeah, so here's another fascinating thing, right? So he's got all of his players come from different agents. So these will all get a portion of his revenue at the end of the season. But you have a flat fee, and then you also have a fee over an amount of games if you don't play that amount of games. So that obviously guarantees people to get the match XP as well as the training XP whilst they're loaned out for the season. So Shorning's rev share here, he will guaranteed give away 30.75% of his rev share. If he doesn't meet the match requirements for some of his players, he'll give up another 29.5%. I really like this strategy, because
that seems pretty good, actually.
I think it's really good, because as long as he meets the match requirements, he's giving up 31% only. And if he ends up picking up 5,000 or 6,000 MFL over the course of the season, and he only gives away 2,000 of that, he's got 4,000 MFL to open the 600 MFL packs. So he can go and get 5 or 6 of those. And now he's got 5 of his own players, where he doesn't need to agency them in next season. So his rev share split will go up.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of buying clubs, Frank Harris said, if I buy a club on the secondary market, do I get the MFL from the league prize pool in that season?
You do. Yes, you just have to be careful that it's not somebody who's already got 100% rev share. Yeah.
Right. I was about to say that. Obviously, if none of their, or not none of their players, but if most of their players are not theirs, they are going to be paying out. How do the loans actually work?
I might as well just leave my screen on, shouldn't I?
I guess do you just post out? You're these are the guys I have available, and people just.
So in terms of trying to find the players, you just go to the scouting market, go to contract free agent, contract availability. You want it as open to offers. Find your division. You can try and get a player from a division above if you want, but I'd be surprised if you did.
Is it just because they're more expensive?
Because somebody who's got a player that's for a better division wouldn't want them playing in a lower division, because they get lower training XP, lower match XP.
Oh, so it's not just as simple as grabbing them. You actually have to negotiate.
Yeah. So some of them will have auto accept. So if you meet a certain requirement, you could just get them.
Okay.
So these guys here is if you just offer this guy 3%, you'll just get his goalkeeper. But some of them they won't have auto accept, and then you'll literally you'll negotiate and they can reject. And the beautiful thing of SoRare is when you reject someone, there's a little text box there, so you can type in why you reject it. That's just a really good thing that SoRare doesn't have. I think I said the beautiful thing of SoRare there, but it's more of a beautiful thing of MFL. And then in terms of actually loaning your players out, when you click on players here, you click on these 3 little dots. Now I've already got these guys. My best players are like loaned out already. Let me find my free agents. I don't have many left. So you tap on this here, you set availability, and then open to offers, the divisions that you're accepting the offers from, the amount of rev share you want, whether or not you're happy to auto accept it or not. And then you click save. And then if somebody meets the criteria, they just take your player on.
So those are the players that are not currently in your squad?
Yeah. And that is largely because they are absolutely awful.
Sure.
Yeah.
But so in the, I guess I'll call it the off season, do people basically, I mean, plenty of people don't want to do this, but I assume your list is much longer in the off season, or is it not work that way?
So yeah, it was. So all these players, so I populated my teams first, and then with whatever else I had left, I put out onto the market, apart from the 4 blue players here.
Right.
Because they're just way too good for the division I'm in.
Yep.
And so from these 4 alone that have been contracted out, now they haven't played enough to get the I've got them on good hold on, let me click contracts here. There you go. So I've got 3%, 2%, 5%, and 2% on the minimum appearances, and 2 of them have still only got 1 game played. So I'm kind of hopeful that they don't hit the minimum appearances, so I get a bit more rev share. But even if I don't, the collection that I'll take from these 4 players will surpass the MFL that I'll get from all of my other teams in every single division.
Wow.
Yeah, which is fascinating. Assuming these guys finish where they're kind of projected. If they do a little bit better, even more. If they do a little bit worse, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, I should pick up a significant amount of MFL from these guys here.
So the top one there,
Mantilla.
Yeah. So he 80 rating. What would he cost on the open market if I wanted to say I want to buy a bunch of 80 rated players and loan them out?
Let's have a look. Overall,
and
80.
Obviously, like, people can't actually do this until the transfer windows are open.
Yeah, well, no, you can buy players during the transfer window and sell players during the transfer window. You just can't assign them to a team until the transfer window.
Yeah, so you could buy it today, but you can't actually do it until the transfer window.
Yeah,
okay. That makes sense.
So the lowest rated right wing right now is $90, but my Mantilla is 22 years old, I think he was. Right. So if we put the age to 22 there, the cheapest 22-year-old is $200.
How do we know if that's a good price?
You can use the like MFL assistant and MFL manager. Like they give, like, I think it's let me grab this guy's let me not buy him. 1,000.
Whoops.
18,906. So if I go to, I don't know if you can see what I see when I bring this up.
No. Not yet.
Manager projections at 18,906. No, that's the wrong one again. Did your screen change when I changed there?
No.
Okay, no worries. Let me.
But you can just tell us if you want.
No, that's right. I'll show you because it's a fascinating little thing. So he was number. Did I share that? Yeah, 18,906.
And which one is this? MFL.
This is the cheapest 22-year-old right wing on the market right now. So the value here is based on the average of the last 3 sales for similar age, similar rating, and similar position, and they've got it valued at about $160. So he's up at $200. Obviously, you probably wouldn't want to pay that. So what you would do is you just click on the manager's name and then hope that he's got. Yeah, so there you go. He's got his Discord popped in there. You just shoot him a message on Discord and be like, "Hey man, what kind of price do you actually want for him?" And it's one of those things, kind of like on SoRare, right? Like when somebody buy, like I was looking at a few players and then they got bought up and I was like, I knew I should have done it. But then I listed a few players and they sold. And I'm like, why did I sell them?
Yeah.
Like, what have I missed out here? So
Hoodwink said 80 rate is very high for starting out unless you're going hard straight away, aka the Bob Flynn method. Yeah. Shout out Orange Fly. I think we answered this before. But it said, I'm looking to buy an MFL. How much would I need to start just one team? Yeah, just
like club $65. License.
Yeah. Here we go. For those of us who are not familiar with, how do the ratings and potential work?
So ratings are random, essentially. Like when you open a pack, it will be within a rating like band. But when you open that, they can be the bottom of the band, the top of the band. It's all random. Then every player has a hidden potential. that potential will be at least +1 on what their overall is. So if you pull a player out of pack 50 rated, they're guaranteed to be at least 51 by the end of their career. But they
What's their career?
Yeah, their career. Yeah. But they could be 99 rated, and you will never know. And so the only way you can tell if you've got a good player is if they're going up in ratings as the seasons are going on. But because they've got everyone will have a different prime age as well. Your player might peak at like 20, and then they've, prime age is when they've had 80% of their overall boost. So you might see your player flying up, hit like you don't know, you can't see their prime age, but you might be like, oh my God, I've got an absolute baller here. And then they might just plateau for the next 10 seasons, right? Alternatively, you could have somebody that's just stinking for years and years and years. And then their prime age is like at 30. So then their XP starts paying in and they fly. And all of a sudden you've got an absolute baller at a late age. They retire between 32 years old and 42 years old. And when they're born, effectively, when they come out of a pack, they will just be assigned a random number between 1 and 10. And that will be like everyone gets to go to 32. And then the 1 to 10 gives you however many more years you get. You'll never know what age that is until 3 years before they retire. Then you'll get a notification saying they've got 3 years left. So you effectively could pull like a 27-year-old. The oldest player you can get out of a pack is 28, but that 28-year-old could end up going till they're 42, or they could end up going till they're 32. Like, it really is random.
So obviously there's a bias against older players.
Yeah, which I think is ludicrous.
Yeah, you did mention that recently. Does there seem to be like when you talked about that on one of your videos, I was like, is it viable then if you wanted to do one of these clubs where you get all lone players? Does there seem to be a considerable decline in essentially asking price for guys who, like, I'm thinking, what if you just ran your club with guys who have an announced retirement date?
Yeah. I think people would be willing to sell them at like real cheap price, because they, you're only getting 3 more seasons or probably 2 more seasons by the time you find out of utility, that somebody would probably be more than happy to just take, a real big haircut on the player. But of course, if that helps you get promoted or have a high position where it earns you a whole bunch of MFL, the cost, can it be outweighed? I think it needs somebody a lot smarter than me to kind of literally do the math and be like, right, if you're in this division, this is the maximum amount of money you should be looking to pay for an older player, because once they're retired, they're gone. Like, I'm sure the math is there to be done.
There's so many things you can do in this game.
Yeah, it's incredible. The best thing is, I don't know if Josh Excels is still watching and wouldn't mind messaging me on Discord, one of the best progressing players. But the best thing is, and one of the strategies that I wanted to implore, was literally buying about like 20 or 30 clubs for the lowest division, buying all of the youngest $1 players that I can, and just playing them, because any single player can be born with any potential. So if you buy like a 50 rated guy that's just been born for $1, he might be that 99 rated player. Now, there's 0.2% of players that will have 99 rating, but it's got to be someone, right? And so far, it's no one. So there's no reason why your player can't be 80 rated or 90 rated or 95 rated. And that's what fascinates me about like opening these 600 MFL packs where you've got like some deadbeat guy, especially when they're old, right? Because the way the XP system works is they have like an invisible bar of XP, and you fill it up, and once it gets to the top, they go up 1 rating. When they go to a new scarcity, so from like uncommon to rare, it takes a lot longer to break through that scarcity. The XP bar is like a lot heavier. But if you're born at 28 as let's say a 50 rated player, and your retirement age is 33, but your potential is 90, you've got 5 years to fill all that XP, which means you're going to fly up the ranks. And that's why I just get really excited about like getting these crap backs, because I'm like, if they end up being insane, what a story and what a journey you would have of like following this person's career.
So you could genuinely have a player who is like, quote unquote, born with like a 40 rating, and they could be a 99.
Yep. They have the same potential as anybody else to be a 99 rated.
Rigamon said I had a player go from 55 to 64 in one season at 27.
That's insane.
What's funny is that the reason I asked about that whole, like, they are guaranteed to progress one per in their career is because you've had guys who like progress two points like quickly. And for some reason I had convinced myself that it was one, that everybody progresses by one every season. And I was like, oh, well, then you just wait. And it's like, but that makes much more sense. Like, you can't just guarantee everybody just progresses all the time.
Yep. And it would be paying like the guy that I've got, Mantilla, who's 80 rated. If his rating, if his potential just has him to an 81, I'm just going to hate him for his whole career. Because I'm like, 7 years in, I'm like, you're still 80 rated. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
yeah. A few people have been talking about how there's a big Discord, big community within the Sorare Ramble Discord. And this When Dirkcast, who's commented a few times, When Dirkcast is another MFL podcast that goes out every Monday, I believe. And I found that because I think it's Calvinator, does a bunch of content. And so basically, like, in order to prepare for this show, I watch Nep's videos, but I'm going to like obviously try to get more. I can't. The biggest thing for me was like, how much do I need to know before I start? And I know that sounds silly because like if I start and it's terrible and I'm really bad at this game, I have eternity to figure it out. Like it doesn't feel like I have that. And I don't want to say that's like actual pressure, but like there's not that financial pressure that so rare when you buy in-season cards, you're like, oh, my time's running out, that I just haven't played a game like this in a while where it's like, just go figure it out.
Yep. You get like when I heard that the seasons were 6 weeks long, I was like, damn, that's going to feel like an age. That's like, it's going to take forever. And I said this to you last night, like, but it just didn't. It flew by.
Yeah.
Like, it literally flew by. And I think actually now we're already into the second week of season 4, which is wild. But when I think about this, is why people that kind of throw away the oldies bother me, because if you've got a 28-year-old, let's say for the sake of argument, his retirement age is the average retirement age of like 35 or 36. You've got 8 seasons with him at 6 weeks per season. In real time, that's almost a year, right? Like, like you're going to be just fine with this guy for a year. Like, it's not a problem. And it's why I get interested in like the development center and the young players, because I'm like, I've got this 16-year-old. There's only about 25 16-year-olds in the game, and I managed to get one of them out of a pack.
Say 25?
Yeah, about 25, yeah. And so I've put this 16-year-old in the development center for 4 seasons, which is 24 real-world weeks. It's almost 6 months. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sitting here like, when he comes out, he's only going to be 20 years old. But yeah, it's hard to mentally understand how long a season actually lasts and how long a player's career will last. You'll be like, oh my God, I've got him late. He's only going to be around for 5-6 years. That's ages. That's like absolutely ages. Let me, what was the name of that player you wanted to check? Or the number, sorry?
69889.
All right. Let's share the old screen here. Oh yeah, here you go. So this is I can't really see it, show it a bit any better than that. Probably the website show it better. But he started out, he was born as a 26-year-old 52 rated. And then by the end of his first year, he was a 67 overall. Then in the second season there, he had a massive stint of growth up to a 74. Actually, he ended the season as a 79, and now this season he's up to an 81. So this is season 2, season 3, and season 4. So at the start of season 2, he was 52 rated, and now at the start of season 4, he's 81 rated. So he's gone up 29 ratings in 2 seasons. And the value discrepancy, he was purchased for. Oh, he was like pulled out of a pack. Oh no, there you go. He sold for $1. From Coach Temiel to Fortress Agency. Now, Fortress Agency is one of the biggest guys on the site. He has like, 30 clubs, 40 clubs, and like probably thousands of players. And the fact, and all he does is do what I was suggesting before. He's like runs at all these like $1 farms where he just puts these players in the bottom divisions. And yeah, now he could probably sell this guy, 28 years old, probably sell this guy for like, I don't know, $100, $150 that he picked up for $1.
And in real time, that's like a month and a half.
This probably like 3 months.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
But obviously, if this is the guy that is the 99 potential guy, or even like a 92 or a 91 or something, he's just going to keep flying, right? Like,
And so, how much of that progression? Because we're talking about like they need to play in order to get XP. Playing with better players means that their XP grows faster. If that card just sat though, but we know we don't know it's going to one day be a 99, but it just does it on its own, even if they never played. I guess that's how I think of it.
No, so this guy's in the development center, so he's there. He's got 2 more years left in the development center, so he gets 120% XP of like what would in theory be all aside XP. I can't remember the exact math. There's a maximum amount of game XP per season that you can get. So even if you play every game in Cup and every game in the league, you won't get more. And then you get training XP as well. You can like, if you miss XP, so if you, let's say you've got somebody like this and you know he was 52 rated, so you're never going to play him, right? So for the first season or two, he just kind of sits there dormant, picking up training XP but not match XP, and then you see him go, you've still got enough time to reach his highest potential. But obviously, because they do have a retirement age, eventually you'll kick the can too far down the road to the point where you can't reach their potential. So how you manage it is whether or not you can extract the best potential out of these. And for some of the clubs that I've got, I'm kind of doing it wrong. I'm almost like waiting for the new tier below, because my team is so bad compared to everybody else's that I'm just getting smashed every game.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's bad is because when I get these, I actually got a win in the cup today, which is really nice. Yeah. But like when I play against this guy and he smashes me 7-0 and I get all these red ratings, my match XP is awful.
Yeah.
And so it's like, am I really figuring out whether or not these guys are going to be good because they're just not getting the XP? Or am I just kind of wasting my time picking up the lowest amount of MFL possible for finish bottom in the league? But literally only time will tell. But the fact, like, they made a change this season for the cup, whereas before, when you're in the cup, if you qualified out of the group stage, you would earn some MFL. But people like use the cup as like literally a rotation for like fitness for their main team, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. So now each cup has like a group stage win amount of MFL as well. So Team Sweat, which is the worst team I have by far, with the worst players by far, has already earned me 50 MFL this season because they've got a win in the cup, which is just awesome. Like, it's another one of those little things where I'm like, it's already paying off. They're already earning. And like the idea for me with some of my feeder teams, especially like Team Sweat as well, is like every single player in the team is a player that I pulled from a pack from the MFL that I earned like within my like ecosystem. So eventually, like, the idea is that every time these guys earn MFL, I'll open more packs and keep filling the team up. And so the team will just forever be sustainable, because even if I finish bottom of the league every single season, I can open 3 packs, which means every single year I can add 3 more players to like my group. So when it gets to the point where some of these guys start retiring, I've already got their replacements like coming in and coming through.
Yep. Yeah. So, and the MFL that you win is not team specific, right?
No, it's for your agency.
Right. Yeah. So you could win whatever you win from Team Sweat, you can use at NepentheZ FC.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
So here's all the stuff that I earned last season. For the cups, a little bit of here just for getting these are for like specific players that I had contracted out, and then it just goes into your like MFL balance, so overall. And then like I opened these packs, got these common players, and then those common players I can distribute however I see fit. They don't have to go back into where they came from. Yeah.
Can you buy clubs with MFL?
No.
Okay. That's fair. But players you can? Or is it just packs?
No, just packs. Or the development center. So I've the 16-year-old that I got, He's currently in the development center. He's 42 rated striker, and he'll just be in there now for 4 seasons. So hopefully like trends like that guy that we just looked at does.
Sure.
And by the time he comes out, he's like 80 or so rated. But yeah, the only thing you do is buy the packs with MFL.
So you mentioned earlier about some of your players are too good for the league that you're in. Is there kind of a general range or band, like rating band of players, like for each? You said there were 7 divisions.
There's 8 now. There is. Do you know Jay Fraz? If I throw that name out there.
Yep.
So I met him through So Rare, and he's a massive like MFL player, and he sent me. I wish he would just let me like shit. There you go. He sent me this, and this is like the bands of. So this is in the Ice division, the lowest division. Like your average team rating is 700, which is like obviously all of the player ratings of the top 11 combined.
Top 11, not 16.
Yeah. This one's for top 11 right here, which is an average rating of 63. So if you want to kind of like be at the top of that, you need your average rating to be about like 68, 69. But obviously because players progress through the season, you don't have to start at 69. You can start with like 66, 67 rate players and hope that you progress. But the other website that I showed, the manager projection site, if I take like one of my divisions, this division here, like this is a really weak division. So like the best 3 teams in here probably wouldn't even be like this guy at the top, MFL. He's got a good squad, but the other 2 guys would be like 4th and 5th in different leagues, and then these guys here wouldn't even be like anywhere near competitive. So if we just pick a one at random, see how many 700 ranked teams are in here. Like that guy at the top would still be the top one, but the rest of it would be like way more competitive. So whether like what level quality team you have is almost only relevant to the division that you're in.
Yep.
But the divisions get drawn before the transfer window closes. So if you see that you're in like a really strong division, you might want to move your players elsewhere, either like farm them out to another club or just have another club yourself. But if you see that you're in a really weak division, you might want to make some good signings real quick, fill in some gaps of like, you know, maybe you've got a bad goalkeeper and a bad striker. You might just want to go and contract those guys in because all of a sudden you've got a chance of like dominating the league and winning.
Are those basically like randomly assigned, all the leagues?
They are when you first go in, and then they're not. Then you're like part of your own pyramid system. So like Division 1 splits into 2, and that 2 splits down. You'll always stay in like the same line when you get promoted and relegated. So like when I got promoted into the Ice League,
the other teams that you were promoted with came with you.
Yeah, they came with me up here. And if we get relegated, we go back down into the division that we came from.
Interesting.
So they want to create like that kind of like football rivalry by making sure you're constantly in and around the same, like with the same teams, which I find to be like really, really fun.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Apparently there's a season 4 version.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But I imagine it's not dramatically different.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah. Philly Dude said, since you win MFL, which can be used for packs, but buying teams and players is dollars.
Yes.
And buying and selling players on the secondary market is dollars as well. Or
yes. Yeah. So you win MFL, you open the pack, then you sell the player. Like, and that's, you know, there's the kind of like connection to money. But that's what I said to you about Floaty, because you can't buy packs with like money effectively, other than during the drops, and you can't buy MFL, you can only win it. People pay a massive premium to get the pack on Floaty because like people are just degens. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, you got a pack that would cost me $50. Yeah, I'll pay you $300 for it.
Yeah. No judgment.
Yeah,
the judgment-free, degenerate judgment-free zone here. Halligan said, can you shift players around after the first game of the season if it's within the transfer window?
Yep. Which is something I probably should have done. I looked at league strength and then was just like, oh, this is the league strength. I didn't look at league strength and think, right, what can I do here to like put myself in a stronger position?
Right. So you've gotten up to 5 clubs now. Do you see a reason obviously there is a reason. Do you think there is a viable path for you having more with this same strategy, or is it just too much management?
Yeah, I think the idea will be, look, I want to do it all, right? I want to do every strategy.
Yeah,
I
of
want to do it
course.
to the best, and I can't. Like, there's not enough hours in a day.
Right.
But the idea would be to like save up the MFL to get one of the kind of better packs that gives maybe like a rare player, which is quite expensive. That's 47,000 MFL for the rare players. So it would probably take me 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons to save that. But if I just use what I've got now, saved the MFL, got the rare player, then sold the rare player, that would facilitate buying another club. And then I would get to 47,000 MFL again a bit quicker. And so in my mind, it's like I can just snowball the buying of clubs by saving the MFL to get the rare players and expand without having to invest anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Josh said I bought a pack for 160 and sold it for 235 2 days later.
Yeah.
That works. Philly Dilly said the low cost is pay 80 or whatever for the team. You can get loan players, keep 30% of your MFL, buy packs, keep or sell players for dollars.
Yep, that's it. And then just hope that you got one of those guys that just goes, you know.
It just goes. Mini-Me 98 packs on floaty ain't that bad. Just looking at degenning into rare ones listed for 169.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The value of purchasing them during the pack drops is $160 for a rare pack.
And it's just first come, first serve whenever the drop.
Yeah, but that one contains 3 players. One's guaranteed to be limited or better, one uncommon or better, one rare or better. Somebody from the pack drop last time around of the common pack drop, like the worst pack, should I say, the kickoff pack, you have a 0.01% chance of a legendary in there, and somebody hit a legendary out of that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, it's like a $2,000 player that they got from a pack that cost them like $5.
I would like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
Halligan said, does this lead to fake outs where you start with a bad team and transfer in your best players before the deadline?
It doesn't just doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah,
like other than what I said, like I've just seeing that you could have a strong team to end up being way higher. There are a lot of people. There was a theory that if you start with a really low rated team, you'll get put in a weak league with other bad teams, and then you can like trade your players out for a stronger team. But that was disproved like very quickly.
Oh. Bob said if I hit a legendary, he'll buy it from me. All right.
Hell yeah.
Noted. Where was?
Wait, does that mean you're playing?
I don't know. Did I say when? He said if you hit a legendary. Is there a limit on the number of clubs in the ecosystem?
Nope. Every time that they fill the bottom tier, they just introduce a new tier and populate more clubs again.
What are the name of the 7 divisions?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Diamond, platinum. I've only heard of
platinum, 4. Gold, silver, bronze, iron, stone, and ice.
Iron. That's the one I forgot. Bob said only 3 transfers allowed. Was that during the transfer window you can only transfer?
Yeah, but in preseason, though, the leagues get assigned and the league gets underway before the transfer window closes. So you can kind of like do bits and bobs there. Is it going to be called the Spark League? Is it? I think
Spark is next.
Way better. But
Spark is after ice or below ice?
Below ice, yeah. Spark. Oh wait, somebody else had my cup games going. Damn. Well done for remembering. I forgot. Let's have a look.
It's on right now?
It'll be over by now.
Oh.
Do you want we can watch a replay together?
I was gonna say, can we watch?
Yeah, we absolutely can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the result is here yet. It just says watch replay, right?
I don't watch regular football at all. Maybe this is what it looks like. Who knows?
So here we go. So to start with, the Eagles, my average rating is 70 defense, 69 midfield, 66 offense. My opponent's average rating is 68, 69, and 74. So I'd say he's slight favorites.
Can you see that before the game?
No, because obviously you could have up to 25 players. So if he's got his best versus his worst, that will change.
Yeah, but like, could you generally see like
you could get
usually strength, like they have a strength in defense or something like that?
Yeah, you could take like a really good like estimated guess.
And did you change your formation or tactics at all before this game?
Nope.
Okay.
I like last season when I was doing really well in the Ice League, and Josh and my other friend Japes, they were like tactics testing loads, and they would get like some really good results from certain tactics and stuff. And so I got like a bit FOMO. I was like, right, I need to start like testing some stuff. I started losing, right? So I'm like, let me just go back to my tactic. And I just won again, like flat out. So I thought I've either just been like really, really lucky, or the tactic that I've created is just insane. So like what Josh said earlier, like he likes to like try not see what his opponent does, or try and find certain formations that are stronger against other certain formations, and kind of get an edge like that. I kind of feel like I just play to what my strength of my team is good at, and just hope that that's better than my opponent. And it's worked pretty well so far, to be fair.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Pranksy's saying they might get involved, and now everybody's trying to get their referral link, and I don't even have a referral link yet.
Yeah, you could use mine, Pranksy, if you like. That'd be great.
See, yeah. Oh, man, come on my channel and throwing your link around, even though I'm about to use it.
So you are joining. Why wouldn't you want to play this game? Why wouldn't you want to play this game?
That's sort of the way that I'm. So you know what my actual concern is that I get too into it.
Yeah,
and it becomes like way too consuming, and maybe I just get over that. But I'm not the kind of person who would be like, oh, you can play for 5 minutes a day. And I'm like, yeah, but if I play for 5 hours a day, it's better. And so
it can be, and it also can't be. Like Josh spends a lot of time like running tests of formations and friendlies and things like that. And if he ends up still going on to lose the game, was it better?
Yeah.
he has. Go on. Yes. It's that Ross, baby. I purchased him at the start of the season. An absolute talent to be. Whoever sold him to me for $15 is going to regret that after this game. Let me tell you.
Yeah, they're home right now. You're going yes, and they're like, no.
Come on, let's make it 2. Oh, bang. Let's go. Come on, 2-0 up in the cup. Love that. Love that.
Which team is this?
This is my best team, Prestige 26.
Prestige 26, all right.
So if we, damn, it's been a bit of a dead game, I can't lie, but let's have a look at how much I would win should we go on to win this game. 370 MFL for a group stage win.
Did I remember correctly from one of your videos that the lowest pack is 600?
Yeah.
MFL? Okay.
Yeah. So I've almost won a whole new player from this game.
Like I'm trying to think of MFL winnings in terms of packs.
Yeah. Oh, go on. We'll make it 3. Just put this game to bed. It's like Arsenal against City, isn't it? What a ball. Oh, my God. It's liquid. Oh. It's close, wasn't it? It's close.
Big chance missed.
So, yeah. Do you know what's funny? The amount of errors led to goal from goalkeepers is insane. And even though they don't actually assign it as an error led to goal in the game anywhere, I had a goalkeeper on an 8 rating and just conceded a goal. He went down to like a 6.5. In another game later on that day for another team, I had a goalkeeper on an 8 rating, conceded a goal that was an error led to goal, and he went down to like a 5.8. And I'm like, they must know then that he's like messed up in the match engine. I found that quite interesting. But this guy, my striker Giles, my number 9, not my number, this guy here, he was the striker that helped me win. Oh, what a finish! Let's go. He was a striker that helped me win promotion last season. And so now here he is doing it.
Yeah. Can we pretend that was like a Modric type volley?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a Travella volley. That was. Yeah. I'm smashing this guy now. And this is what I'm saying. My tactics are just, I don't need to run thousands of tests. I don't need to practice loads. I just, my boys do what I want.
On. Here we go.
That was close.
Good save.
That was a good save.
This is the most football I've watched in 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Sort of, maybe. Do you think that the evolution of this game is watching essentially a FIFA simulation?
Yeah. Yeah. If they can get like a really fun like 3D match engine down. I
guess how important is that for the game?
I don't think so. Like I don't know about, you don't play Football Manager, so you can't really like say, I guess. But if there's anyone in the stream chat right now, when you play Football Manager now where you can watch in 3D, do you still watch in the 2D top-down version here? Because I still watch Football Manager games like this. Like maybe I'll watch the goal highlights in 3D to see exactly how it was scored. But the general game, I much prefer like this. And that might just be an age thing or like a almost like a comfort thing because that's what I watched. That's what all it was growing up. But
Sure.
that also might just be because people prefer it like this.
It's funny because I keep thinking that the biggest difference between this and FC24 is obviously the inability to actually play with you. My goodness, this is just an absolute
Smashing
rout.
this guy. I'd say he was favorites to win as well.
So you obviously have no control over this.
Yeah.
But there is just so much. There we go.
What a victory. Love that. A clean sheet as well.
Yeah, you love that.
So just to interrupt you real quick, one of the real fun things about MFL is at the end of the game, the match XP gets assigned immediately.
Ooh.
So I can now go and see if these guys have got any progression.
Wow, like right away.
Yeah. Last 24 hours.
None.
So I got one shooting on Cordero, who scored the goal from range. I got 2 defending on Mazaros, the right back. That's insane. That was it. But that's like really, really good progression for a cup game as well.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of people watch the 3D version.
Oh, on FM? Yeah, well, what do they know?
Streams from a room. I've had thousands of hours each FM game, only ever watch in 2D. All right. So what I was going to say, though, is so much of playing FC24 and all FIFA years before that is simulating. Like, has Chani ever played a game? Doesn't he just simulate everything?
Yeah, he did used to do Ultimate Team, but yeah, he does.
Well, I meant like his
career mode stuff,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah,
and so
simulated.
I think that's what, like, when my son was like watching you talk about MFL, and he like that. I feel like that has become the game, and the actual like playing on the pitch, it has become secondary. Even though you played a lot, but that's where I was like, maybe me not playing it doesn't put me any further back than anybody else.
No, it definitely doesn't.
Ranchan said there are 4 different modes to watch the game. Is that for FM or MFL?
In MFL, I know you can watch it like if you watch the replay like that, you can watch it like 5 speed, 2.5 speed, or whatever. But you can also watch extended highlights where it takes like 30 minutes to watch the whole game, and that's where you can actually really see the like flaws and strengths of yours and your opponent's tactics and stuff. Like it's quite interesting, but it's just a whopping time sink.
I was gonna say
something that I think gives like a really, really small like benefit, I guess. I'm guessing Josh won his cup game as well.
Yeah. That's a hell of a name, Josh. Did the goal and clean sheet factor into their progression, or was that a coincidence?
Well, it technically did, because it gave them high match ratings, which gave them higher match XP, which helped them, like grow quicker.
Right. That makes sense. So was that team's first cup game? I just feel like having multiple teams, I would just never be able to keep track of everything correctly.
Yeah. Like one team is good for when you first start. One team for the first season, 100% would recommend. Once you've played that first season, though, you will not want one team. You will just want a second or third team, because you're like, this is great, but I need more. Like it didn't quite satisfy it. But certainly whilst you're learning the game and learning like the UI and just the general experience, one team is perfect. Yeah.
So today is March 24th. Obviously, season 4 is underway. If I signed up today, what is there for me to do for the next 4 weeks?
Well, if you sign up and just got your own club,
I'm not picking up somebody else's used club. So, all right.
If I was starting right now, you will be able to enter a tournament later on. There will be like last season they had like a mid-season for like all the late registrations. You get into a cup, so you can still win MFL. But one of the benefits of having a team is you get training XP, whether you're assigned to a league or not. So if you bought your club license, created your Laird FC, and then bought your team, like they would start gaining training XP. So they would start progressing. You wouldn't be able to do anything else until the cup come along again. But there's also like a lot of community cups that come. Yeah, so the Redemption Cup. So Josh and I played in a cup that SR Monkey from Surrey Ramble run earlier. It was free to enter. It was kind of like you had to like know, you have to be in a know, you have to know them.
Sure.
We entered for free, and like there was a certain group of people that got I think it was like top, like round of 16 started winning MFL for it. So that's something that MFL do to kind of like, community engagement and stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to run one myself eventually. The downside is there's no fitness and no match XP as part of it. So you can't like boost your players or grow your players through it. But the upside is you kind of get the experience of playing in the tournaments. You can win some MFL and it's just good part of the community. And then, when the Redemption Cup comes along, it's just like a regular cup and only the new teams can enter that as well. So it's not like it's populated with all these like insane teams where people have like got to grips with everything. It's just for like new stuff. So there's still a fair bit to do, but obviously if you actually wanted to play, you have to buy one of the teams that's already in a league to play it.
So I buy a club, I buy a license. Like the way that I picture the way I would want to play is I start with season 5. So I buy a club ahead of time. How do I fill players out if I don't want to go to the loan market? Do I have to buy them from I buy free agents basically?
Yeah. Well, you can buy packs at the start as well. You can get like 2 packs that I think they contain 3 players each. And they have a chance of higher scarcities in them as well. Right. So you can get like 6 of your own players straight away. And then they do run promos like constantly throughout the season as well, where you can like get other stuff. But you'd have to go to the market and just try and start isolating the players that you think will be good for your team for next season. Right.
Or I just wait for the transfer window when everybody posts the players they don't necessarily want. Yeah. And then I'm giving up some of my MFL.
Yeah, precisely. But you can only make three trades during the transfer window for the mid-season.
I was thinking just off-season.
Oh, okay. Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. Liam said, I'm now 5 games into my first season, got a decent grip on it all. I now want more clubs. And Calum said, we're only 6 games in, and I already feel like 1 game per day for 5 minutes is too little. I want more.
It's just like, as you said, like, it was really nice to hear your feedback about my content, because I've posted a few tweets about MFL and it gets responded with the whole, no hashtag ad in here, bozo, and things like that. And I'm like, it's because it's not an ad. I just like it. But it was nice when you said, like, I'm selling it to you and I'm not even trying, like, I just thoroughly enjoy it, because when it's authentic, like, the community has the chance to really like blossom and grow, and the game has a chance to really come out the other side. Like, Web3 games have not been great so far. They've got a really bad reputation. People have lost a lot of money on them. And I think the beautiful thing about MFL is once you've hit that initial investment of like buying your club license, you never ever have to spend again, ever.
Right.
And it's like, you lose $70. Well, when you buy like FC24 and FC25 comes out, your purchase of FC24 is now irrelevant. And even then, your club is still an asset that you can sell if you want to. But once you've got in, you're just in. And that's it's one of the best projects I've seen of Web3, just because of that. Like, you don't have to keep piling money into these like inflated NFTs that just lose value overnight. You're just there. That's it.
Yeah. It doesn't feel very, well, I don't want to say it doesn't feel very Web3-ish, but like the NFT part doesn't seem to matter to me.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
And it also seems to matter much less and less with So Rare anyway. So like, I'm just comparing it to that because I happen to play it, but yeah. So I assume this is just like a do whatever you want. There is no better, but Philly Do is saying, if I'm brand new, is it better to do loans or try to buy $31 guys?
Depends on your own expectations, I suppose. Yeah. If you buy $31 guys, you're probably going to finish probably not bottom, because they have like the zombie clubs, the guys that kind of like set their teams, disappear for the season because they're just going to collect whatever MFL they're going to get at the end of the season. They don't rotate, like they got low fitness and stuff, or they just give up on the game, lose interest or whatever. So you'll finish probably 9th or 8th in any division. Even if you've got the worst team, you still probably won't finish bottom. And so if you're happy with picking up like 2,500 MFL and getting 4 or 5 packs at the end of it with the $1 guys and just seeing where they go, that's a fun way to play the game. But also, if you want to go and get some like loans in and try and promote, that's a fun way to play the game.
And everybody wins some MFL.
Yeah, even last place wins. Yeah,
right. And what's the pro rel? Is it top 3 and bottom 3?
Top 3 in the ice division. I don't know.
Well, right, because there's nothing below it. So
yeah,
for now.
But it has like a stone division. Bottom 3 gets relegated, and the ninth team goes into playoffs. So like it's double elimination. So first place gets promoted, second place and third place, or third place go into double elimination, and then second place go into like the final of the double elimination. Yeah.
Love me a playoff.
Yeah, same here. Because it's good because you get the match XP as well. So I'm like, I almost want to finish third. You know what I mean?
There we go. Rigamon said 2,050 MFL for last place in ice.
Yes, that's what I say. Like 3 packs minimum a season. Yeah. Like you just keep replenishing your club. So even then, like you could buy your $30 guys, and after like 6 seasons, you could have sold them back on again for $1, and now you've just got your own populated players from the packs that you picked up.
Liam said it was alarming that the club was $70, which is funny because I'm comparing it, I guess, because of the similarities. I was comparing it to FC24, which I'm fairly certain I spent well more than $70 on it. Maybe I didn't, but then knowing I could sell it and cash out if I wanted to, I was happy to proceed. Yeah, I mean, I don't look at any of this as like how much it'll cost me to get out. That's all.
Yeah.
Do you think this is Simon on racing?
Maybe it's like Simon Racing, but he does sim racing. So he's doing like a play on sim racing and his name. Yeah, that's clever.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so the club license is the club pack in the store. Does that come with players in it, or do you still need to get players for that club? I think it only comes with, there's one that comes with I could pull this up myself, I guess. Maybe. Because maybe I can't because I can't get packs. Oh, here we go. Oh, I could have been sharing the whole time.
There you go.
Although the way that you move around this website, I was just like, holy shit, this guy is spending some time on here. But even that, like, even so, before I pull that up, just the way that you move around the site feels very Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Why did I think there was a club pack that came with a player? Or
there was. So
there was a
promo run, like a couple of weeks ago, where you got a player for buying the club pack. So if you are going to buy a club for yourself, you might want to wait until the next promo comes where you get something else with it.
Right. You're just talking about that to somebody. Like companies that do promos all the time, you're just like, you'll never pay the regular price.
Yeah.
So,
maybe I'll wait. That. Yeah.
Theoretically, I could sign up today and just wait to buy the club pack. Like I don't have to buy the pack today, right? If I sign up today.
You can sign up today and then buy the pack whenever you like. Yeah.
So like what would happen if they ran out of, like, if 170?
They won't. They would, like, so that once that gets to 0, it just resets to like 300.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a marketing tactic here.
Yeah.
All right.
So it actually says on the uncommon player that it's sold out, but it's not. Like if somebody tried to buy it, they'd be able to buy it.
Okay. Callum said you also get, the referral card. So $100 for one club and 7 players to get you started.
Yeah.
How do we get to 7? Oh, because you can buy
buying
2
the two. Buying the 2 of those guys, getting your free player, and then you're well on your way.
Right. And then I start putting out my code, and then more people use my link, and then I get free players that way.
Yeah. So actually my affiliate things were actually real nice. Like
one of the guys, this is legitimately embarrassing for me. That Cornelius player that you have is like now like that is a fake player on MFL, and I somehow know his name more than like all of the strikers in the Jupiler League, which is a real league right now. But yeah, I didn't even realize that until I think it was earlier today that you pulled your club up, and I was like, oh, that was one of his like referral cards.
Yeah, so he was a referral, but he came as an uncommon, and then he went through the tier breaker like in his first season. So he was a rare. And then Paulinho is another rare that I got, and then the rare pack that I got is where I got Mantilla from, that's out on loan as well.
Yeah.
And then I got one more rare from a rare pack from a pack drop. But yeah, my referrals, I've already had a couple of the like common guys already break into like 3-4 ratings above and stuff. So it's kind of like it's just real nice to see these guys like do well. But I had one of my viewers that got a common. And when he got the commons now are up to 54 rated. But when I started playing and was getting referrals, they were up to 64 rated. So one of my viewers got 64 rated common as his referral. That's now already a 70 rated. and he's just like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Skater says, how is the ROI in this game compared to So Rare? Haven't been producing much money playing So Rare. Well, I mean, if you're not winning on So Rare, then it's probably just as good.
Yeah. So one of the things that I like MFL obviously isn't like So Rare, right? Like it has certain elements that are similar to a degree, but MFL is like a combination of like So Rare, Ultimate Team, and Football Manager. But with So Rare, like it's hard to win enough to stay playing without, especially in season, right? Like maybe that will change if they introduce this new like the MLB thing where you can like make a classic in season, but it's really hard if you spend like, I don't know, £500 on a Premier League limited team. You might not even make any of that back by the end of the season to go again. Now you've got a limited classic team, which is still, you can still use it, but you might never ever get that money back. One of the things that, like I mentioned already a couple of times, but one of the things I love about MFL is like you will just be able to continually play forever once you've hit that initial investment. And for me, it just makes playing the game, it's like risk-free. It's like, okay, yeah, you don't have the ability to win $2,500 every single week, you know, especially playing multiple lineups or whatever. You don't have a chance to hit a star card that might be worth a whole bunch or pull a tier 5 essence pool that might be worth a whole bunch. But actually, you kind of do. You might get a common player out of your pack that might be a star. You just got to wait your time for it. And once you get deep into the ecosystem of your own self, like in 3 months or 6 months time, you'll have a history of players where you're like, oh, damn, I paid like $3 for this guy. I can now sell him for $20. I paid, you know, X, or I got this guy out of a pack. I can now sell him, or they've helped me earn MFL where I got a pack, you know, that biggest pack that's there is like 325,000 MFL. Those players will sell for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Like there is the ability to win, to make good money off of MFL. It just takes time and patience and a bit of luck as well. Like, you know,
this guy said, Peters? I don't know. I opened my last starter pack and got 2 uncommon keepers from it, 67 and 71 rated, both 6 feet plus, 22, 23 years old. That's a very good pack, right?
That's a very good pack.
That seems like a really, really good pack.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it and the more I watch your videos on it, the less I think it has any similarities to So Rare.
Yeah, it's just a Web3 NFT football game, isn't it? Like that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think when MFL started to gain a little traction, and I mean, it's been, has it even been a year that like, oh, I think Hoodwink said earlier, he's been playing for about a year, but I did see like there has been an uptick in MFL interest within the So Rare community over the last few months, I would say. Like I'm talking about MFL. Like I think it's so that doesn't, I'm hardly first, but like once it gets to me, then enough people are talking about it. But it felt like there was this, oh, is MFL like a competitor to So Rare? And the more I learned about MFL, the more I was like, the only thing that they compete with So Rare on is time and money, I guess. That like, what do you want to spend your time and money doing? But it's not like oh, I'm going to go play this other NFT fantasy sports game, MFL, because I can, and like they're very different to the point where it was like, for any other like hobby, like if you wanted to learn how to play the piano, and then it's like, well, playing the piano and playing So Rare, that's not this, like they don't compete. And it's like, well, they do, because the more that I am playing the piano, the less I'm trying to play So Rare. And so like, that's the only like similarity I see. And it kind of applies to any hobby whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not super similar. I just, as you like talking about like certain things there, like for me, you know, the future of MFL, it just can be great. And a lot of that is due to the community. Like when I first started playing So Rare, the community was so helpful. Quinny and John were the first 2 guys to like reach out and just like offer me any advice or, you know, like kind of talk me through things and stuff. And that was really, really kind of them. And it was always something that came up in discussion on podcasts with you and Sean, or on other podcasts I watched, of like, why would you help someone in So Rare? Because you are directly competing against them.
Yeah.
MFL, I've got a few viewers in my league, but you can't like, so there's some element of that. But generally speaking, you can't like get angry at each other or make bad choices at each other or anything like that. It's just like, it's all about everybody enjoying the experience that they're having playing the game, rather than being like, oh, play like this strategy or spend this money or don't spend this money. And it's more about like, how did you do in a cup today? Oh, you won. Oh, that's sick. Did you get any progression? Rather than like, oh, did you come first in that tournament? That means I didn't. Screw you. Like, you know.
Yeah. That is always one of the things about the So Rare community I always thought was so strange. Not strange, but kind of strange. Just like we are, like, if you win, that means I did not.
Yeah.
And yet I'm like, hey, maybe you should look at this guy. Oh, did you see so-and-so is out? I know you were going to play him. Maybe MFL need to add DNPs.
No.
That'll really get us all together.
I'll quit immediately.
Oh man, hoodwink 5-0 in the cup. Defeat.
Just got to get good at the game, man. I can give you some tips if you like.
I was going to say, maybe the tactics were wrong.
Yep.
Or maybe you spend too much time on the tactics and you should have spent no time.
That's right. That's the play for me.
Man.
So are you going to play?
You guys are all very convincing. Like, I was almost basically convinced watching your videos, just because, like, I love So Rare. And I remember, and it's most of your So Rare videos still, but like your early So Rare videos, you like, and you've said this, like, you started doing So Rare videos on your own. They didn't come to you and say, do these for us. And they're just overwhelmingly positive on the experience of it. It's not, you're not doing your MFL videos like, look, I just bought this club and now I'm selling it for $10,000. And I think it's kind of like a break from the money obsessed part of it. Like, So Rare is still like really about money, and not that that's a bad thing. Like, I still love playing it, but the money is how you know you're doing well.
Yeah.
And MFL, it's like, oh, if I go from ice to stone, like, I know, like, the progression.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I remember talking to you one time many years ago, which is wild to say, isn't it? Many years ago. I was talking to you in a podcast many years ago.
Many years ago?
Yeah, because that's how long it's been now.
Yeah.
Whereas I was explaining that one of the things that I wanted to do with So Rare was to have a gallery full of rewards only, nothing else. And I genuinely believed in that moment that I would do it. And it's because even like, when I win a big card in So Rare, I'm like, nice, he's worth £1,000. Do you think I'm selling him? I'm not going to sell him. Never in a million years, because I'm going to use him to win more money, and then use that money to get a bigger gallery to win more, and just keep snowballing. And then there's always a discussion point of like, okay, but when do you actually, like, you know, withdraw and make the money? Well, MFL has the same thing.
Never is the answer, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Never is the answer. If I ever got a player and he's like, oh, he's a 56 player, and then like 3 seasons later he's like a 90 player, I would say, oh, he's worth $1,500. But I would never sell him. I would just keep using him to keep getting more MFL, to get more packs, to get more players, and keep the cycle going. And I don't think I would ever stop playing the game. I don't think I'd ever, unless I was like really like had, you know, like the idea with So Rare was have only rewards, winning rewards, so that I could sell things because I've got everything. So any excess is literally excess to sell and recoup from. That's where I would look at MFL as well. I was like, only when I've got to a point where I am at capacity and still making things, then I would start selling players off and recouping.
Except for that $1 player you sold recently.
Yeah, well, 2 of them I did. I tried to sell the $1 players that I bought, and I accidentally listed some of the ones that I packed. So yeah, my mistake. So to answer Zhao's comment, because it's something that I asked as well, he says, at no point do we know the potential player. We only know if he reaches 99 if he gets there. So it is there on the blockchain, but it's hashed. And so the only way they can ever prove that they don't know is if somebody actually like contested it and they had to go through court proceedings, and then they would unhash all the potentials, which is apparently like a massive rigmarole to get through and do. Like they can't just take a little sneaky look and be like, don't buy him, he's terrible.
Yeah.
It is like a big thing for them to and they have to unhash all of it at once. So it is there, but yeah, it's completely hidden forever, which I really like.
Yeah. And that's literally part of the blockchain part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't need any crypto.
No, you don't.
Cryptocurrency.
Nope.
Yeah.
You just use your Dapper wallet. I suppose you need a Dapper wallet, but maybe you could buy with a bank card. Actually, I don't know. I didn't try, but
I don't think I have a Dapper wallet.
Yeah, I think you probably can buy with a bank card.
I mean, that's what I did with SoRare. Actually, I bought all my initial cards on a card.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I did the stupid thing. I bought ETH.
Yeah, you bought ETH at the
Coinbase,
yeah.
and then I transferred that to something else. And by the time I got my money in SoRare, I'd lost about half of it. I was like, "This is great."
In fairness, I've done that as well. I definitely transferred it to the wrong wallet and then another wallet to SoRare. So I spent $85 to get $20 on the site.
Oh, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, avoiding that I think would be nice. Would be nice. All right. I'm close, man. I'm close.
I think you should do it. Even listen, if you don't like it, if you join season 5 and you don't like it, just sell your club. And there you go. That was your experience.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I've lit money on fire for much worse.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. If you could please subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny, who also plays MFL. So I went to look for MFL content, and I was like, I went to yours first because I knew we were talking, and then I was like, oh, there's more here. Oh, there's more. And so now I'm really going to have to catch up. Actually, let me ask you this before we go. So the Calvinator has one, and then I forget what the name of that show is now that they're on.
When Dirtcast, he's got Jimbo on there as well. They do the podcast together, Calvinator and Jimbo.
Yes. And obviously they're the Ramble does MFL. Are you somebody that feels like they have to go back to the beginning to start? If you're starting a new podcast?
Depends how far in it. If it's episode 160 something, no, I'll just catch up from where I am. I'll just go from where it is.
Yeah, maybe the One Dirk one is 80 something, and I'm I'm never gonna catch up there.
Do you know Joss Alday, the SoRare content creator? So he does MFL as well, and I really enjoy his content. So I would recommend watching him as well. I think he's very good.
Man, there's so much.
There is, yeah.
All right, which is really positive for joining a game that there are that many people who want to openly talk about it.
Yeah. Do you know what's difficult though? There's no MFL game category on YouTube, which means when you just type in MFL, it's did you mean NFL?
Oh yeah.
No, I did not, motherfucker. I mean MFL.
Yeah. Why the hell would I want to watch the NFL? Come on. You mean that Metaverse, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So thank you everybody for coming. Nep, really appreciate all of that. I will be sure to use your sign-up code if I sign up. And I say if, I'm probably going to do it in 5 minutes. So.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming, and don't forget to go outside.